Shims was known by many names, but none of them were kind. In school, her classmates called her the storm because wherever she went, peace disappeared. In the workplace, her colleagues whispered when she passed, careful not to say anything that might trigger her sharp tongue. Even among friends, laughter often turned into arguments when Shims was around. To Shims, it felt justified. "They're always wrong," she would mutter. "They don't understand me." But deep down, there was something she never admitted, even to herself. She was tired. Tired of the tension. Tired of being alone, even in a crowded room. One evening, after a particularly heated argument at work that left her isolated once again, Shims returned home frustrated. She threw her bag aside and sat heavily on the floor, her mind racing. That was when her grandmother walked in. Her grandmother was the opposite of Shims, calm, gentle, and full of quiet wisdom. She had lived long enough to understand the weight of words and the power of silence. "My child," she said softly, sitting beside her, "why is your heart always at war?" Shims scoffed. "It's not me. It's people. They annoy me. They don't listen." Her grandmother smiled, not in agreement, but in understanding. "Come," she said, "let me tell you a story. There was once a woman," her grandmother began, "who carried a basket of fresh eggs on her head. Everywhere she went, she bumped into people, arguing, shouting, pushing. One by one, the eggs began to crack. The woman kept blaming others for breaking her eggs," her grandmother continued. "But one day, an old man told her, 'If you carry something fragile, you must walk carefully, not force the world to move for you.'" Her grandmother turned to Shims. "My child, relationships are like those eggs. Fragile. Valuable. Once broken, they are hard to restore." Shims felt something shift inside her. "But what if people are wrong?" she asked quietly. Her grandmother nodded. "People will always be imperfect. Just like you. Just like me. But life is not about always being right, it is about choosing peace, understanding, and kindness." She placed her hand gently on Shims' shoulder. "You can win every argument and still lose every relationship." That night, Shims couldn't sleep. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. "You can win every argument and still lose every relationship." For the first time, she thought about all the people she had pushed away, not because they hated her, but because they were tired of fighting her. The next day, something unusual happened. At work, when a colleague made a mistake that would normally spark an argument, Shims paused. She took a deep breath. "It's okay," she said softly. "Let's fix it together." Her colleague stared at her in surprise. Later, when a friend disagreed with her, instead of raising her voice, Shims listened. Truly listened. It wasn't easy. It felt unnatural at first, like learning to walk again. But slowly, something beautiful began to grow. People started smiling around her. Conversations became lighter. And for the first time in a long while, Shims felt peace. Weeks later, she returned home with a gentle smile. Her grandmother looked at her and knew. "You have changed," she said. Shims nodded, her eyes shining. "I finally understand," she replied. "Relationships are more valuable than being right." Her grandmother smiled warmly. "And now," she said, "you are no longer a storm, you are a shelter." From that day on, Shims became. Shims sat quietly beside her grandmother, still thinking about the story of the fragile eggs. The room was calm, the evening breeze gentle, but her mind was full. "Grandma," she said softly, "are relationships really that important? I mean, money can solve many problems." Her grandmother smiled, the kind of smile that carried years of wisdom. "My child," she said, "money is important, yes. But there are things money can never truly replace, things only relationships can give, and often give even better." Shims leaned closer, listening carefully. Her grandmother began counting on her fingers. Money can buy a house, but relationships make it a home. Money can buy medicine, but relationships bring comfort, care, and healing faster than drugs sometimes can. Money can buy a bed, but only peace of mind and loving people can give you true sleep. Money can buy followers, but relationships give you real friends who stand by you when life is hard. Money can open doors, but relationships bring people who will walk through those doors with you and not leave you behind. Money can give you power, but relationships give you respect and love. She paused, then added gently. And sometimes, my child, one sincere relationship can solve problems that money cannot even touch. Shims felt those words deeply. She remembered the times she had money for things, but no one to share joy with. Times she won arguments, but lost people. What about when people hurt you? She asked quietly. Her grandmother nodded. Yes, people can hurt you. But isolation hurts even more. The key is not to avoid relationships, it is to learn how to build them wisely, with patience, understanding, and forgiveness. That night, Shims didn't just understand relationships, she valued them. She realized that a good friend can support you more than money during hard times. A kind colleague can make work easier than any salary increase. A loving family can give strength no amount of wealth can replace. Peaceful relationships can protect your mental health better than anything you can buy. From that day forward, Shims didn't just change how she spoke, she changed how she saw people. Not as opponents to defeat, but as connections to nurture. And in doing so, she discovered something beautiful. Life became richer, not because she had more money, but because she had more meaningful relationships.